Good morning, this is Sheila from mycards.creations.com, and today I am going to do a tutorial on my little shaker heart, and I'm going to try to do a video how to show you how I cut out this shape using Design Space. And this is my very first time doing a video like this, so I hope it goes well. Anyway, what I did first was I went into insert shape and I clicked on the heart, and that brings the heart. Now I measured mine. It measures like 3.5, 3 3/4 by 3 3/4. So I went over here to the corner. I'm hoping, let me see if I could turn that a little bit, sorry. And I put my heart right up in the corner, and I just pull down to about the size that I want, and that's about right. So then there's 3 parts to this shaker, 3 main parts. There's the back piece, and then there's the cutout piece, and then there's the piece for the what do they call that, the film that fits between the last cutout piece on the shaker, the shiny stuff. I'm not exactly sure what people call it at the moment. I can't remember. So first of all, this would be considered our back piece, and I'm gonna duplicate this 3 times because we're gonna use this about the same size. So I'm just gonna move one over. I'll move the main piece out of the way. Alright, so right now we're gonna be working on the outside piece here, and there's a cutout. We're going to work on the outside here, and there's a cutout in the middle. So what I did was I took another heart, and let's change this color to any color you like, because it really doesn't matter. So I'm just going to change it to like this beige color. So now I want to shrink this just a little bit, and I'm sorry that my camera's shaking a little. So I'm just gonna shrink it a little bit, and then I'm gonna put it on top of my back piece just to see how that looks. And you try to make it as even as you can. Just want to move that out. It's kind of hard to do this when there's a camera in front of you too. So to me, that looks about right. So I want to cut out this shape out of this piece. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on that piece, and then I'm going to hold down my shift key, and I'm going to click the back piece, and it becomes like 1. So then over in the corner, this is learning by trial and error, over here on the right side, there's a slice button. So you're going to click that. And I'm sorry because this is my first time doing this on here, so I'm learning trial by error. Whoops, my camera's shaking. So now we move this out. Okay, so now I have this cut out piece. So that's the second piece to our project. Alright, so now we want to cut out the film. And what I do, let's get rid of this one here because we're not going to need that. This one, I'm just going to enlarge it very little. And I'm going to move this over here because we're going to use this as a guide. Actually, not that one. Sorry. I want to take this one back over here for a moment. And what I do is lay this piece on top of this one, and make sure that you can't see any of the white backspace behind it, just to make sure that you have a big enough piece of film that's going to cover that piece. And that looks about right. Alright, so now you have your 3 pieces. And you can make this bigger than mine, smaller than mine, but this is the basic 3 shapes that you're going to need. You're going to need the main back piece, which is just 1 piece. You're going to need the film, which is also 1 piece. And then the cutout piece, I use actually 5 pieces. You can use more, you can try to use less, but the thicker you make your shaker, the easier the pieces are going to move inside. And I think 5 pieces are perfect. So what you would do is duplicate this one 5 times, which is simple. So again, you're going to need 1 of the base piece, you're going to need 1 with the film, and you're going to need 5 of the cutout. And that's the pieces, the basic cutout pieces in Design Space. And if you plan on doing more than 1, then you can duplicate. I find it easier to duplicate this 5 times and then duplicate these, especially the film one. I would do that like 6 times and change these colors. You know, this you can leave the same color as this piece, and this I usually just leave as 1, and you try to fit it on a 12 by 12 piece of paper, and it sort of works out fine. If you only have 11 by 8.5 by 11, that's fine, but you might end up using 2 pieces of that, and other than using 1 12 by 12 with the other pieces. Alright, so now I'm going to stop the film and I'm going to set up to show you how I put it together. I'm not going to stop it, I'm going to pause it so I can get my stuff ready, and when I turn the camera back on, we'll start creating the shaker. Alright, so now you can see this a little bit better, I hope. Alright, this one is what we're going to make. Alright, so you need 1 piece of the vellum or the clear sheet, and you need 5 of these, and you need 1 of the base pieces. You need 1 straw, some glue, and some of the confetti. And you also need a piece of paper that measures like a 1/2 inch by 1.5 inches, because that's what you're going to hold your straw onto the back of your shaker. And you're also going to need some ribbon. Alright, so before I started gluing my pieces on, I did kind of decorate the inside, and I just used a gel pen, white gel pen, and I just went around and made these little curly circle thingies, just random. You could do whatever you want. You can leave it blank, or you can add some stickers. Like one of my shakers actually had a face in it, but I found out using that face and those googly eyes, the googly eyes are thicker than what I had my, say these, call these walls built up. So when I went to glue the clear plastic on, it was a little bit of a challenge. So I suggest, if you use the googly eyes, to build the wall up a little bit more. Alright. That way you don't struggle when you're putting it together, as I did when I made my first one. Alright, so now you can use whatever glue you like, and just make sure that it is clear, it dries clear, because you don't want the glue to show. So we're going to glue 4 of these on. So let me get my glue started here. Here it comes. So I'm just going to line that up. For some reason it's not lining up perfectly. If yours doesn't line up that perfect, you can always go back and trim it after. Alright. No big deal. I probably laid it down backwards because sometimes when you cut in one side might be a little bit different than the other side, so it doesn't really match up, but that's fine because you can just go and trim it. So now that's my second one. Now, because of the purpose of the video, I am not going to wait in between. After I glue 4 pieces on, I usually wait and let that dry, because you don't want any glue to still be sticky when you put your sequin things inside, because then they're going to get stuck and your shaker won't work properly. But because I'm just doing this video, I'm not going to wait. Oops. Be a little more careful than I just was. I went over the edge. Alright, so now that's my 4 pieces. And before I go any further, I think I am going to trim off right here. And there's just a little bit on this side. Alright, so now you would put your sequins, and I kind of got a little mixture over here of different things. I punched some paper hearts, and I got some different color sequins, and then I have some heart sequins. And I try to get them so they're lying flat. You don't want it too bulky. Alright, so now you're going to glue the clear piece on. And make sure that you glue right near the edge really well, because you don't want your sequins falling out. And then lay it down. For some reason that looks a little bigger. I don't know. Alright, so you lay that down. And that looks alright. And then last, you're gonna lay your top piece on top of that. And as I said, you would make sure that your other base pieces are dry before you add your sequins, because you don't want your sequins to get glued to the sides. Then you know it's not going to work right. So that's your last piece. Alright, let's see. As I did with the other one, I just drew some simple little hearts. You can also add sequins to the outside. You can leave it plain. There's so many different things you can do. And let's see, I think I'm just going to just add some little dots. Just to dress it up a little bit. Alright, so now turn it over. And sometimes I would also take a little piece of tape and tape that down first, just to help hold it there while you're gluing it. And then take your piece, and I think I'm going to trim mine just a little bit. Add some glue. And you can also, if you get some of those, what are those things called? The lace. Oh man, I hate when I can't remember something. You can also add lace in between the layers too. Alright, so now what I did was take some ribbon. I think I used like 4 pieces, or you can use just 2 longer pieces. Alright, about 12 inches or so, probably like, I'd say 13 inches, 14 inches. You can even cut that in half. Alright, so you got, tie this in a knot. And you don't have to be too particular about what's having them even on both sides. Pull it tight. I'm just going to tie both of mine on before I crinkle them. You can add some ribbons. You can add pretty much anything you like. Okay. Alright. So to get mine to curl, you take scissors. I find scissors work better than a pen or a pencil. But what you're going to do is just run your scissors, hold this part down and run your scissors just like this. Down the thing, hold it pretty firm so you get the curl that you like. And you do that for each piece of ribbon that you tied. trying to stay in the camera. Oops. Oops. I'm sorry if I keep moving out of the camera. Okay, then 2 more I have. That one doesn't seem to be wanting to curl. Alright. Alright, so then I don't like the way that one works. Okay. So then you just play with it. Alright. You can add more if you like. I don't know why this looks... Okay, there we go. Alright. So there, you just curl it like this and you play with it and get it the way you want. You can add a bow if you want. Some more stickers, whichever you want. For some reason this doesn't. Okay. Alright, so and there you have it. Your little shaker. See, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, just hit the like button, and any questions or comments, please leave them down below, and I'll be sure to answer them as soon as I can. And thank you for watching.